we kind of did this. We did the reds first. We did a kind of a Burgundian thing here. We talked about the red wines first, but we also saved a great story and a great wine for last. I have had the pleasure of meeting Adi a couple of times. Adi Badenhorst of the Badenhorst family wines. Any of you who are watching, some of you may have met Adi. He's been to the Triangle a few times over the course of the years. Has done some tastings in the shop. Adi is a very, very memorable figure. Tell us your favorite Adi stories, Max, and what it's like to hang around with Adi for a couple days.
It's a lot of fun to hang around with Adi, actually. He has tons of energy. He really, everyone talks about his stories where he's like being kind of like audacious and out there, and yeah, sometimes he can be like that, but more than anything, the guy has a big heart, right? And he's a wickedly intelligent person who is totally self-deprecating. So everything he does, he says, is dodgy. Like his wine is dodgy, but he makes some of the most beautiful wine in South Africa. And not just, I don't think that other people like Eben Sadi even, they're like, yeah, Adi's making the best wine some of the best wine right now, But Adi, really, him and I drove down from DC a couple of years ago. It's just the two of us. And I think this speaks to him as a farmer and a winemaker. He was on the phone, like him and I had some great talks about wine, we geeked out, but he was calling up his winery as much as he could. And there's all sorts of things going, asking questions about like this vineyard, that, what's going on. Like you could tell that he is like, yeah, it's great to go out and be out in the United States and selling my wine, but I really, I need to be at the farm because that's where I do my important work, right? And he's like, that's where the things are happening that I'm really interested in. That's crafting beautiful, amazing wine. And Adi, I mean, again, he has like salt and pepper hair down to here, salt and pepper beard. But you wouldn't know this, but he's like a South African winemaking blue blood. His grandfather was the manager of the Hut Constantia winery, one of the older estates down in Constantia outside of Cape Town. His dad, Adi grew up around there by Badenhorst. He made his first wine when he was 13. With the winemaker of Badenhorst. His dad was a winemaker. And Adi, here's another great little saying of his too. I was with him once and someone was like, why are there three heads on the swan? Like, why'd you put that there? And he's like, because it's trippy, man.
That's classic Adi.
But I will say, all of the stories about Adi aside, he's a phenomenal winemaker. And
absolutely.
He took over a farm in 2007 after being the head winemaker at Rustenberg, which is one of the most historic properties in Stellenbosch. He took this over with his cousin, Kamusfontein, in the Paardeberg, part of the Swartland. The Swartland is honestly one of the most exciting regions in the world, I think. You have a plethora of old vine vineyards planted from the early 20th to three-quarter of the 20th century. And he took it over, organic viticulture, dry farms these vineyards. Close to 70% of the vineyards in the Swartland are dry farmed. And like 650 hectares of them are considered old vine as well. So it's a treasure trove. And Adi, he was one of the pioneers along with Eben and the Villeneuve family. And this wine that we're featuring with you guys is his homage to the Swartland. It's a Chenin Blanc based blend, but with like 9 other grapes, and grapes that traditionally grow in the Swartland itself. So anywhere from Claret, Semillon, Roussanne, Marsanne, Grenache Gris, Grenache Blanc. Like these are all Verdelho. These are grapes that have been growing in the Swartland since the late 19th century. So the way it's all co-fermented together, aged in large neutral oak barrels. It's a wine that has beautiful and ripe fruit, but at the same time, there's something about it where you're almost like, if Burgundy was made in South Africa, that's kind of how I feel about these wines. But it has a Mediterranean feel though too. So if you like wines like Master Damasco Sac or like La Sula or Domaine Gobi, like these wines fall into that same sort of really textural on the palate and have phenolics and acid and body. And, honestly, some of my favorite white wines are of that style.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. When you're around Adi, like you can tell that like the self-deprecation and it is to make everyone feel comfortable, and he does it in a very, very sincere and a very gregarious way. That kind of brings us around full circle. The thing that gets excited, and the reason I love listening to you talk about wine, and the reason I love selling wine, the reason I love talking about these wines, the common thread is a sincerity. And like I get excited about when I'm doing classes, when I'm talking to people about wine, I'll occasionally just end up completely down a rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I just get excited. And these winemakers are ones that excite me because of that integrity, because of that sincerity. So I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to you talk about them, and I look forward to some of our customers getting some of these wines and tasting the wines along, and then listening to you talk about them.
I would love to. Sorry to interrupt, but I'd love to hear what people think too. So please,
absolutely.
But if you guys have comments on the wines, please feel free to pass them along.
Absolutely, we will do, and we will suggest that our customers do the same.
But I did hear that South Africa did completely halt all wine operations in their COVID response. Has that ended? Has that kind of interfered or kind of set anything back this vintage?
It ended and came back. So they had 2 rounds of shutdowns. The original shutdown actually banned exports. So imagine how horrible that would have been. So fortunately, a bunch of people got together and they're like, all right, these people are not going to, the wine industry is not going to be able to survive. So they got the exports to actually go through. But still, you couldn't sell alcohol at all in the country. And I think you also couldn't sell tobacco for the first time around too, which really, I mean, in the midst of a pandemic, I know people should not smoke, and I'm an anti-smoking person, but that combination seems, I don't know.
Challenging, yeah, at the very least. Well, our time is pretty much up. If there's, Tristan, do you have anything else for Max? We'll give him the final word if we don't have any follow-up questions for him.
Nothing, Max. If you have anything to sort of plug, get in front of our customers, our audience, floor's yours.
Yeah, I just want to say that all of you guys who shop at the Raleigh Wine Shop are super lucky. I wish that they were closer to me in Chapel Hill. I mean, from esoteric to you can find anything there. And you have such a talented group of people that work there. So you guys, the customers are lucky there. And yeah, just be adventurous wine drinkers. You guys already do a great job in supporting Broadbent and what we do. So drink lots of different things and as much as you can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Max. Responsibly, but yeah, understood. Well, thank you so much, Max. This has been a pleasure. I knew the hard part was going to be only talking for 45 or 50 minutes and not turning into 2 hours, which I would love to do. But I look forward to being able to do this in person again, hopefully sooner rather than later. But once it's safe, I can't wait to get together with everyone again. And thank you very, very much. We appreciate your time on this afternoon.
Yeah. Thanks, James. Thanks, Tristan.
Absolutely.
My pleasure. Thank you all so much. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, guys.